Hello. Look, the new shock absorbers came in. This is the lighter shock absorber that I ordered. This fitment actually is the one specified for the 47 to 48 Fords on the front. I'll give you the number. I'll put the number up on the video. There's the number, look. 82007. And these are roughly 18 inches long open and roughly 12 inches long closed. And these are the ones that I had. These are like the heavier ones. The bigger ones are a 61637 with approximately the same dimensions, open, closed, and in between. That's the Pro Guard, the heavier duty one. There. So I think it'll look better with those. They're not quite so cosmetically well prepared, unless that's something that'll clean off. There's a little dent in that one, but what are you going to do? And there's there are the two shockers close side by side, close together, so you get the impression there of the differences in the size. They are, for all intents and purposes, the same length. So I'm just going to swap this second one, take this one off and put the new one on here. So I might as well show that, why not? Let's just whiz that off then and put the new one on, just so we can say, call the job good. Right, where's that little spanner gone? These shocks with the 5/8 bush, they're easy to put on and off, aren't they, with a rubber bush? So I have to compress it just a little bit to get it on. They've all got gas in them these days. I mean, they're hydraulic shock absorbers, but there's gas. Where the air would be, there's gas. Well, that wasn't hard, was it? Could do with some of the proper washers. Well, there you go. There's that looks better. And when the weight of the car's down on it and it looks a bit shorter, it'll be a bit better still. Okay, I'm quite happy with that now. I wish I'd have bought those in the first place, but I just didn't know what to expect. I'm buying blind normally because I've never had the things in my hand before. I just don't know what I'm getting. That's the finished job. Okay. Sorry it's took so long, but sometimes these things do, don't they? I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. I'll just warm this up with the oxyacetylene. do the ratchet. I can see the stud moving, but it don't feel like it's... No, it's just going to snap. It's gone already, I think. Hey, I'm willing to be proved wrong. Coming. I thought that had gone, you know. Oops. Okay. There you go. There's the last one. I thought that one was broke. I was convinced, but luckily, gladly, and I'm very pleased to find I was mistaken. Don't look too bad, does it? Amazingly, that don't look too bad. I found this at the local scrapyard. Look, I don't know what this looks like. A file. Somebody's welded something on there, like this tip here, this blade. Don't know what it's made of, but it's been pretty useful, to be honest. Yeah, that'd require quite a hefty skim. I can feel a low spot there. And there's a bit of a low spot there. Anyway, okay, good. The okay, I still don't know what I'm going to do with this engine. Maybe nothing. Seeing this damage doesn't help its cause at all. Mainly because I can't do head skimming. I can't do skimming. But at least the studs came out. So I got all the studs out. Now, it wasn't really a problem. There was a couple that were a bit stubborn, and they came out after warming them up. And going forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. And you saw the last one. That last one was the worst one. The other bank all came out, no problem. I think there was one that I had to sort of wind and then wind in and then wind out. But on this side, they were a little. You can see this side suffered more badly, as if this side was the downside that water was soaking in, and water was soaking into the gasket somehow and has damaged the head surfaces. It's a shame, because I think other than that, and you know, with a rebore, maybe a couple of sleeves, 1 or 2 sleeves, it would stand a chance. And the only way to bring it back would really be to skim this side. Either that, or if it's just a low performance, you know, build, just kind of clean it up as best as possible, put a gasket on and hope that the gasket's got enough give to take up these low spots. Not looking great though, is it? Look down that ball. Let's leave it at that then. I didn't really intend this to be a major session. I just thought, oh, I wonder if those studs will come out, and they just started coming out. I took all the one side out, and then I started taking the other side out, and then I left it, and then we've been out. We went out ourselves and I've come back. So I thought, oh, I'll just have a go at these others, and they came out okay as well. I heated them up, and I think that may have helped. So it's not looking great, but little bit by little bit, I'm kind of, I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm just messing. You have to have something to mess about with, don't you? Okay, thanks a lot then. Catch you on the next one. Bye. Hello. You'll have to forgive the noise in the background. I've got the borer machine running on the old 59 Flatty. This is my steering box. I've just done like a dry fit of this area here. So I'll show you what I've just found. These are nipped up. I've cleaned everything, and I've reassembled it with the same gaskets, but the shaft is a little bit loose. It's not too bad actually. It's not tight. Do you know, it isn't loose either now I'm looking at it again. Maybe if I tighten these a bit more, it'll be just right. Oh yeah, that's alright. Yeah, that's okay actually. That's nice. That's just turning without any free play and not tight either. Turning nicely. Okay, I'll just show you what I've done. I'll take the top off again. So what I'll do, I'll show you how to set it up. messy down the bolt holes there. This has been apart a number of times. Right. There's the gaskets there. And if it was too loose, I would have had to leave a gasket out. There's about 3 or 4 stacked up there, on there. There's the bottom bearing race. There's the bottom bearing. There's the worm. The other race is there. I've put that in first. I've inspected the worm. It's all good. Looks good. No pitting on it. Really good actually. So what I've done, I've got the casing in the vise. I've threaded the shaft through and just got it in there like that. Then that goes on. Then that goes in. I've kind of cleaned the bearings by wiping them rather than okay, that's just finished. Well, I just finished that pass. That one gasket's a little bit fragile, to be honest. Okay, anyway, so I'm not going to get too precious about this. I'll do these bolts up. These are all 5/16 UNC. I'm not rebuilding this box, I'm just giving it a quick strip and a quick inspect. These holes on this side are blind. When I bought this steering box ages ago, I did have a quick look inside it. I won't complicate things by putting grease in or anything. You don't put grease in them, but I'm going to use that that stuff that I've got that's the equivalent to the John Deere corn head grease. There you go, that's nice. Turns nice. Turns nice without being tight. Okay, so the next thing is the other piece, the other part. So let's have a think. Right, here's the plate. I'm just going to wipe it. I might give it a scrape with a razor blade actually. There's the plate. So there's the plate. Here's the shaft. I've wiped most of the grease off it. I've inspected that roller. The roller looks okay. There's a few. The plate goes in that slot there. There's a slot there. So you have to make sure that's nice and clean. There's a bit of grease there. Because it's all pretty greasy anyway, I'm just going to leave it. it's not full of dirt, you know, this grease is actually quite clean, so. Okay. I'm tempted to just put a bit of the special grease down here. Fuchs Renault EP00. That's what I've been using. Pretty gooey stuff. Put some up the end of there. Put some in there. It'll all come out, won't it, when I put the lid on? When I put the shaft through, rather. It'll all come out when I put the shaft through. Okay. So here's the shaft. There's the worm. That goes in there. Like that. And leave it out a little bit. Okay. Here's the lid. Just giving it a wipe over. Oh, that's the other thing I did as well. I gave the faces a little rub over with a file just to take any lumps off them. Okay, so there's my plate. Here's my adjuster pin. So that goes through the plate, I guess. I wonder which way up it went. I think it was like that, because I can see the mark there from the head. Then that screws into the lid like that. Okay. So what I'm looking at now, I'm looking at this, and this sort of casting is offset that way. If you look at the plate, can you see that the plate is offset one way as well? So let me get my bearings there. So the lid's got to go that way around, and the plate's got to be offset upwards. So let's slide that in. Get that in mesh with the gear. Just put my hand in all the grease on the end of the shaft. Told you to push it all out. Ugh. It'd be better to do it dry, you know, but hey. Okay, so that's good. So what I need to do now is, I suppose I can do that to a certain extent, but I'm just going to wind that out. Okay, so that needs to be like that. Here, now we can just wind this out. Now that's down on the face now. Okay. Right, put a couple of bolts in. Now I seem to be short of some bolts here. I also need to put some locking washers on. But I'll just show you the process of setting it. These glasses are good for close-up work. They're quite a strong magnification, but I can't see at a distance. Well, I know there's one missing. There was one missing before I started. Make sure that this is sort of free, not tight. In other words, the worm is up off the roller is up off the worm. Okay. Right, okay. So there we are, that's nice and free now. I don't know where I am, do I? So what I need to do is go all the way to the left. Just wind that down a little bit. Okay, that's full lock that way, so how can I mark this now? Let's tilt it up a bit. Okay, so I'm going to put something on here so I know what position it's in. Right, that's all the way to the left at the moment. So that's all the way to the left with it sticking straight up. So let's go to the right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and almost, yeah, call it 4.5, right? So what we've got to do, we've got to come back 2 1/4, haven't we? So that's 1, 2 1/4, that's roughly halfway. Okay, so now I'm going to tentatively wind this down until I just feel some contact between the roller. Okay. What you can't see is me. I'm rocking the shaft back and forth on that side, and it's getting less. And there's no play there now. So what I'm doing here is now I'm feeling for this going tight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide this round so that that's vertical rather than sticking out towards me. So that's the straight ahead position. So I'm rocking it back and forth past the straight ahead. And I'm going to tighten it a tiny bit. Rocking back and forth, tighten a tiny bit, rocking back and forth, tighten a tiny bit, rocking back and forth, tighten a little bit, rocking back and forth, tighten a little bit, rocking back and forth, tighten a little bit. Okay, now there's a difference now. So let's come back a little bit. As that goes back and forth, I can feel it now. I can feel it against the roller. And there's a tiny little notchiness there. But that's it now. That's the setting. And when I feel the shaft down here, absolutely no free play. So what you do at this point, you get your star washer, probably take this all apart and re-clean everything. This is just a demonstration. You have a star washer that goes on. And it looks like this. Right, so what you do, you put it on there and you just go to the nearest, I think it's the same both ways up actually, yeah, and you just turn it very slightly till it engages on this lump here. Now on other steering boxes like 37, that lump is where the filler thing is there. So then, having done that, then you clean up the cap a little bit. Again, no need to overdo it. I'll give this all another clean up after the event. This is just a demo. So then you put that on, being careful not to allow it to turn. In other words, I'm keeping the star washer pressed down against that lump there, and it's important that when you tighten that up that it doesn't move. Okay, how are we going to do that? The star washer's trying to move, you see, so I need to get that tight while not allowing the star washer to turn. I haven't got a trick for this. I can see the star washer's a little bit bent actually. You know, by careful feeling it into place, you can get it so it just goes tight with the star washer nicely. Don't have to go mad. The star washer nicely seated against the lump, and this goes here somewhere, doesn't it? Yeah, that goes in there. So that's how you set up the steering, and you set it so that this has just the slightest hint of tightness across that straight ahead position. The sweet spot, as it's known, that's the sweet spot. What I can't understand is why this shaft's running out. Anyway, it is what it is. Oh, and now I've gone off. I'm at virtually full lock on that side now, and there's a load of play in the shaft. Okay, I'll bring the light. I'll bring the camera down low down here, and I'll just show you. Okay. So there's full right-hand lock. That's just back from right-hand lock. There's the play in the shaft. So there's one turn back towards centre. Still a little bit of play, look. Oh, the camera's gone red. So there's straight ahead. No play. One turn to the left. Tiny bit of play. All the way to the left. Lots of play. Then it stops. Yeah, that's all the way to the left, look, horizontal. That way. That's all the way to the right, horizontal that way. So halfway in between, like there, that's straight ahead. And there's no play there. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off because it's flashing red. Hopefully somebody might find that useful. I'm going to take it apart again now and clean everything up and put it back together properly. Okay, cheers then, bye. Keep pressing buttons accidentally. So I thought I'd try and capture it in its more or less rough state, and you know, then I can just show you what it looks like afterwards, because I'm not going to film it. It's just mundane stuff, isn't it? Okay, I'll come back in a bit. Hello, right, so I've had a go. That's the central sort of tappet chest. Don't look too bad. And I also did a little bit in there. I could do with a bit more in there, to be honest, but just did a quick job in there. Wait a minute, where's my... So I did a little bit in there. I can see I need to do some more in there actually now. I couldn't see it from that angle before. So there's the underneath as well. It's got like some mess on it from doing the front and the back, but it's got the worst of the horrible sticky sort of residue off, because what I expect that I'm going to do is to start doing some boring on this block. So if you get rid of all the sticky stuff, it stops all the filings from sticking to it, and it'll all have a really good wash after the event anyway. It'll be completely washed out afterwards. So anyway, that's an hour or a couple of hours that I just spent there just cleaning all that up. This is shaky cam on my phone. There's the bores, look. That bore actually probably isn't too bad. That one's not very good, is it? Shouldn't dwell on this, they're all going to get bored out. I've got liners. I ordered those and they've arrived. So I think I'm just going to bore straight for liners. So anyway, that's a couple of hours work there. Just scrubbing and wiping out with dirty old rags. I've just kind of given the block a rudimentary wash, and I've set the crane up there, the engine crane, with this little bracket here, because I've put the feet on there. Those are the feet that bolt onto the exhaust ports, and so when I lift it off the engine stand and then set it down onto those feet, this face will be horizontal. So I'm going to lift it up and set it down on those feet, so it's coming off the engine stand now. Okay, back in a bit. Hello, right, so I've lowered it all down and I've got the boring machine set up. Again, I've only ever done one engine before, so I'm a bit of a learner on this. I've had let me have a think. I've had two passes down here, I think, two passes. One at 3.2 and one at 3.22, so it's about 22.5 thou over at the moment. No, 42.5 thou over. And as you can see, it's nowhere near cleaning up. It's quite, you know, it's quite bad, isn't it, the pitting there. And I think, to be honest, this side round here is probably the worst. Okay, I just thought I'd show you what I'm up against. This is probably the worst bore. You can see it's not going to clear up at 60 thou, is it? Might clear up at 125, but I don't know. So let's see. I'll just film it starting to take the cut. I'll put another 20 thou on, so this is 3.240. I don't like the intermittent cut. See, this side hasn't even started yet. Probably can't see it. Oh God. Okay, I'll bring you back later. Hello. This is what I hope to be the final cut for this first bore. It didn't clean up at 125. Just a slight shadow on it actually. So it's got to be linered. This is the micrometer. It's a special micrometer. And I did manage to find my 3 to 4 inch micrometer to check the bore. So I check the bore with this snap gauge, check the correlation to that, and I've just wound on the final cut now, and I hope it's going to come out okay. The liners are 3.440. So I'll let you know what it comes out to. I think I'm going to bore all of them and then put the liners in. I think that'll be the best thing to do. So I'm concentrating on one process at a time. And then I can put 2 liners in, trim them off, and then put 2 more in and trim them off. That's how I'm going to do it. Then the same on the other side. Okay, jolly good. Learning something new every day. The machine doesn't seem quite as robust as when I used it the first time. It's more prone to judder, and I don't know why. I've tried tightening these screws, but it doesn't seem to make much difference. And I'm only taking 20 thou cuts. I was taking 30 and 40 thou cuts last time. It might just be that the cutter was a bit beyond, beyond its best. Hello, Meg. Look, Maggie's come to join me in the garage. She's hoping I'd play ball with her. I think what she really wants is her friends Amy and Lucy to play ball with her. You off, Meg? There she is, look. She's a bit bored. Daddy's in the garage again. Poor old Meg. See you then. Okay, that should turn off in a sec. It might jam, so I'll get ready to flick the switch if it does. There, that's it, perfect. Okay, hopefully that's the final cut. Yeah, looks a nice finish, to be honest. Okay, good. That just goes up there, look. Right, okay, I'll position the boring machine onto the next bore then. I think if this was a racing engine you wouldn't do that, but it's just going to be a sort of stock plodder rebuild. Okay, right, bring it back when there's a bit more to show. just been boring this fourth bore on this side, number 4, and there's a mark down the cylinder now. That looks like a crack. I'm going to wipe it. Let's just see what happens if I wipe it. Oh yeah, it's a crack. Yeah, it's a crack, look at it. So, what does that mean? Is that the sort of thing you'd fix with a liner? With a sleeve? Not too pleased about that. Let's give it another pass and see what happens. It's not going to go away, is it? It's there, can't deny it. The question is, would a liner fix it? I don't honestly know.